Hi all, just another talk here. I'm here with Charlotte Aspley. Most of you know me, Dan Floyd from Lichfield Running Club. Charlotte, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself and explain who you are?
Yeah, hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm 30. I'm from Lichfield. I'm the Shining Stars founder. I'm also Mencap ambassador too.
That's brilliant. So, Charlotte, I believe you're just a bit of a runner, and you might have run a marathon or two.
Yeah, actually 5, Dan.
Oh well, 5.
This
Is
should have
it
been my
really 5 now?
final one, and I've got one more to do.
Oh wow. So are you just going to do the one more, or are you going to do a couple more after?
No, one more.
Are you sure?
Just the one more. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see if you keep to that. So, in terms of your running, then, Charlotte, five marathons. That's a massive achievement within itself. Can you just explain why you've done the marathons and how you started?
Well, I started in 2016 when I saw the London Marathon on the TV and applied for a ballot place and didn't get in. And then Mencap have supported me into work in 2009. So since then, I've been working with Mencap on doing stuff about working at Tesco's and what being having a learning disability is all about. And since then, I got a place in Team Mencap, but I couldn't run a mile at that time. So it was fun.
Yeah, so quite interested on that. I remember back at the very start, you contacted me, and it was just before Christmas of that year, and you said, "I'm running London Marathon. I've only ran a mile. Would you be able to help?" So we had to work. You probably remember we had to work fairly quickly to try and get you from 1 mile up to the marathon. Do you remember that marathon at all? How did it go?
Yeah, it was a good marathon. It was a bit hot on the day. It was a really warm day, but at least it wasn't cold, and it was just a really exciting day, really, and really good experience. I've seen London, because I haven't really been to London before. I've seen all them different sites on the way around. I didn't really know what to expect.
Brilliant. So have you run London Marathon since?
Yes, once in 2018. The year after I did 2017 my first, and the year after I did it in 2018 too.
Yeah. So I think I know one of the big marathons that you also run, which is one of the marathons that I'd like to run at some point, which is New York. So how did you find New York?
Oh yeah, New York's experience in itself. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get the bus. That was an experience in itself.
Yeah, it's great.
But it was a really good experience, and really cold in the morning, which is how I like to run, and got a bit warmer towards the end of the day. But it's such an experience because New York is actually better than London in people with disabilities. So they gave me a guide on straight away. They actually set people with disabilities off first, before the fast runners. And they have in New York with the Brooklyn Bridge, they have it on 2 different parts. So the bottom part is everyone with a learning disability, and the top part is all the mainstream people for the first part. So it was quite weird actually running a marathon. Because I did London the first time, you set off with all the general public. With London, you set off like disability group, and then you join the general public along the way. So the first few miles, it's just you. You're like, what? I'm doing a marathon, and there's nobody here. But then it comes in crowds, you're like, whoa. They come in big crowds then.
That sounds good. So this year, London Marathon went virtual.
It did.
And I know you as a big part of that. Could you just explain what your relationship with London Marathon was this year and Mencap, obviously?
So Mencap, we're the charity partner of London Marathon this year. So I got the opportunity to do lots of media and experience about what learning disability is and how I work with Tesco's and about my running and whatnot. And so we got given the charity partner for 2020 with London Marathon.
Well, okay, and you as the face. Sorry, you was one of the main faces for the London Marathon Mencap 2020 campaign as well, wasn't you? So I know you was on.
Yeah, that was a really busy year, up and down the country all the time, trying to fit work in as well.
And obviously trying to fit in your running at the same time. So you was working running as well as trying to do all the media stuff. Yeah,
and up and down the country and all the Virgin Money offices and all the Mencap offices and working with the BBC at the same time. It's extremely busy. Sometimes like 2 hour notice of things I needed to do.
Well, okay, and I know you've been on some of the local news as well, and you've done quite a lot this year. So yeah, really good. So in terms of your training for the marathon, I know you ran the virtual marathon this year. So how did that go? What sort of stuff did you do? So anybody that's listening into this podcast, what would you tell them that they need to do when they're preparing for a marathon?
I always do try and do 4 to 8 weeks pre-training before my 16-week, 20-week training plan kicks in, and then try and stick to the training plan as much as I can. But obviously, work does get in the way, and the weather does get in the way now and again. I don't like running in the icy or snowy conditions. I find it a bit uneven underfoot.
So summer training
try and
works
stick
well.
to the plan.
That's good. So so for you as a disability runner, what would you say was the most is the most important part of your running and enabling you to?
I can't run that support team, so my important thing in my running is my support team, and they've been absolutely fabulous. They give out loads of Sunday mornings, loads of time in the week to come and support me, pick me up when I fell over, especially in icy weather, or just have a fun along the way rather than bumping into lampposts and running onto people's drive and they shouldn't be. So yeah, live right, giggling along the way.
That's good. I mean, one of the key things that I like to think about with running is it's all about having fun. You know, you can be running a 5K or a 10K or up to the marathon, the full marathon distance, and it is just about having fun, really, isn't it? It's not all just getting your head down and running. It is about having fun, and it sounds like with your support team, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, got to keep trying to keep out of trouble.
which is the hard bit. So with your sport team, how did you get your sport team? So obviously trying to find a big number of people to come and help you every week when you're training for the marathon is quite hard. So how did you manage to pull that together?
The Lichfield Running Club are great because they emailed all the members asking if they could support me on my first marathon. So got a bit of a support team going then, and since then it's all expanded really. And I've got all my friends and family come out with me at weekends now, and a lot of the Lichfield Running team still come and support me too.
So just going to quickly chip in on that as well, as being a member of Lichfield myself, I was, and at the time I was on the committee, so I was quite heavily involved in trying to help get that support team up and running for you as well. And one thing that I can certainly say is I believe Lichfield were behind everything that you was doing, and they did try and help as much as they possibly could. And one of the things that I actually just like to show people is Lichfield did win the Inclusion Award from England Athletics back in 2018. So I've got the award in front of me. I think that was quite good. And I actually understand that, Charlotte, you was the one that put Lichfield forward for that award. Could you just explain the reason behind that and why?
Yeah, because I actually ran my first marathon in October, and was it April 2017? And it was a challenge because I only had 26 weeks to run it beforehand. But that's when all the Lichfield Running Club members and all my support team got up to it and helped me. The training was really hard at that point. I wasn't really running like I am now, and I couldn't really run not many miles on my own. And it was a challenge because I kept falling. I did have a few falls and tumbles and whatnot, but everyone was behind me and wouldn't get back on the road.
That's good. That's really good. And to be fair, it's a good accolade for Lichfield Running Club as a whole to say that they've won that award, and it is something to be proud of. So just touching on disability sort of side of running, and is there anything that you would like to say to anybody watching this about the marathon themselves, whether they're sort of disability or not? You know, could they run a marathon or should they stay at 5K? What's your view on that?
Yeah, anyone can run a marathon. It's about finding the ability, and don't put yourself in like I did with 26 weeks to go. That's not the right way to go around it. I learned that after like 6 weeks of training. But oh my God, what am I doing to myself? But no, I'm definitely like apply like a year before, and then put plenty of work. It's hard work. It's a massive commitment when a marathon is. But if you've got the commitment and got the time, and you need to put the effort into training and get the right training plans on board, it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely, and something that I'm just going to chip in on that as well from my side of things. Obviously, from helping yourself through that first London Marathon and all the other marathons that you've done, and you've actually put me in contact with other people. We went down to London together to that event, and I met some of the other disability running. I'm just going to mention Tom. Tom ran the marathon. He ran the virtual marathon in a respectable time as well. And actually, something that I've learned is anybody can run the marathon, and it's all about a bit of hard work, a bit of dedication, and you've certainly shown that. And the hard work and dedication to running that you've put in is certainly there, and it's just about increasing the mileage very, very slowly and moving up and doing what you know you need to do for the marathon, and maybe finding yourself a training plan and sticking towards that. And you've certainly shown that, Charlotte, and you've certainly shown how to do that. So for all those aspiring marathon runners, or whether it's just you want to get out and run a 5K, just and if you've got a disability, I understand, Charlotte, you're setting up a disability running group through Shining Stars.
Yeah, we've just set
about
basically when you move to Shining Stars, it's getting people that don't really do any sports at the minute, or that sports that want to do more sports, running going to be capped to 5K initially, and then hopefully we're going to get them doing the Lichfield 10K, hopefully go to home in September, part of that. So that'll be their first big race. And these guys, there's a few guys that do it at the moment, we're always looking for more people to come and join us. And yeah, it's all about getting them out of the house and doing nothing, and getting them doing a bit of movement. If it's only they can run like a few miles, that's okay. Everyone's different at the end of the day, and we support that.
So we have already done a session as well, haven't we?
We have.
Obviously, it was a COVID secure session that we did. And how do you think that went? That was obviously before Christmas now, so it was a while ago. But
to be fair, they actually achieved more than I thought they were going to achieve. You know, like with the young lad that I had, Matt, I struggled to keep up with him. I was like, oh. So yeah, it could be. It can definitely. They can all. The guys at the minute can all definitely run. It just help them achieve more than they can achieve at the moment with the right equipment and the right coaches.
And I think it's about sort of, as you've alluded to already, it's about sort of them getting out, keeping active, like all of us, keeping their mental health as well. And it's a big part with running as well. I find that myself, that it certainly does help. It helps for a manner of different things, keeping healthy, active, mental health issues. It can help with all of that. And I think personally, what you're doing is really good, and for Lichfield and the community around, I think it's great. So if there is people that want to get involved in that, Charlotte, how can they get involved with your disability running group, whether that's volunteering or coming along and actually getting involved themselves?
Okay, you can contact us by Shining Stars UK Facebook or website, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But we are already a volunteer committee, so it could take us a couple of days to get back to you. And yeah, it'd be great to have some more people involved. And
is it just for people of Lichfield and Lichfield district, or?
We're Staffordshire, so it could be anyone in Staffordshire really. They can come and see. We do other activities like trampolining and netball as well. So yeah, we do all sorts of activities. And when we're back, when COVID's gone, we're back into nightclubs as well. So we do nightclubs for people with disabilities. There's all sorts of opportunities out there to come and support us with, or come and be part of us.
You just said you do other activities. Now I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but I know you have been doing some Zoom activities. So what type of Zoom activities have you been doing just to keep people active and motivated? What have you
We've been doing Zumba. We've been doing quizzes to try and get their mind working and answer a few easy questions. We've also been doing combat, which is like kicking and boxing, boxercising kind of thing.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, and are they? Can anybody join those? Do you have to sign up to Shining Stars, or is that?
No, if you look on the Facebook page, we always put on when the sessions are in the Zoom link to, and then you come and join us.
Cool. So if anybody is listening and they want to join, have a chat with Charlotte through Shining Stars, and I'm sure you can get involved.
We're also taking part in the Special Olympic Great Britain and Men Cap Challenge on the 25th to the 29th of January, which is for people with a learning disability. It's a different challenge each day. You got either doing movement, kicking, or punching, or something along them lines. And there's awards for the best team, and there's awards individual as well.
Well, sounds like you're doing some really good stuff for Lichfield and the learning disability sort of community within the area. So just a few takeaway little points then. If there's any aspiring runners out there, what would you say to them?
Don't hold back. Well, do it in moderation. Don't say I'm going to go and run a marathon in a week's time, because that's not the right way to do it. If you're going to do it, plan for it. Train. Make sure you train, and try not to get injured as well. Like always, think to try and get injured.
Obviously, we've done lots of different types of sessions, from pyramid running to interval sessions to tempo running. What would you say your favourite session is? that they could possibly go and get involved in?
I like track running.
Track running,
That's
so
my
running on the
favourite.
track.
Yeah.
Something like a 400-meter session, something like that.
Yeah. On the
Brilliant.
track. I like track running.
So for anybody that's listening, there was a post done by myself and Matt Long. Just it was Friday the 8th, Friday the 8th of January, and there's a discussion on there around the different types of running. And if you have a look, there is some track sessions that you can possibly do within the fast running Catch Me If You Can. But so just a final one, Charlotte, that I'm going to ask you. Moving forward, what goals have you got?
Hopefully London Marathon in October, it all goes ahead. And then got a Great North Run a couple of weeks before London. And then we'll see what happens really. I know there won't be any marathon, but hopefully there'll be plenty of half and 10K to keep me going.
Superb.
So yeah, we'll just see what happens.
You've got a nice busy year, and I know I saw earlier today that you got involved in the Beacon Park Run. So you submitted a time in there, so that's good. You're just keeping active, and we can encourage people.
Yeah, my second one.
You can encourage people to keep signing up to Park Run every week, the virtual side of stuff, running 5Ks, and that's certainly good for people's fitness. And obviously, as many disability runners that we can get through the disability running group that you're doing to sign up to that, all the better. Brilliant. Well, that's all there is from me, Charlotte. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it. Thanks, Dan.
Cheers. Thanks all. See you later.